What's up, guys? This is Crypto with James talking to you today about Serum. Yes, I know it's a clickbaity title, it's going to zero, and I'm not necessarily saying zero, but I think this is a terrible investment, and I'll explain why in this video. Also, some really big news out of the SEC. One of the members of the SEC has had to quit because of revelations that he's been whining and dining with Sam Bankman-Fried. So I want to talk about what's happening there as well, because fingers crossed that means Gary Gensler's on his way up. But we'll see. Before I get into it though, guys, if you are new to the channel, these are the first 26 coins that I spoke about when I made this channel. They're also the first 26 coins I owned when I made the channel, even though I was in the market for 8 years. Now, had you put in $100 into each of these coins and then ignored them, done everything wrong as an investor for 2 straight years, you'd still be in profit for 6.3k from a $2,600 investment, and that's doing absolutely everything wrong. But if you'd done the right things, which is sell these coins last year like I did, then $100 into each of these coins would have netted you a profit of 123 grand. Now, these are not the coins I own anymore. Like I said, I sold them last year. If you want to see my current portfolio, you can go to Copy My Crypto, which is, the link is above me. On that site, I share my portfolio. I release videos on a daily basis talking about the markets. My members get real-time updates whenever I buy or sell a coin. We have tutorials set up for beginners as well as step-by-step, so that you can, so that anyone can learn and start beginning their crypto journey. And look, there's a history of success on this channel. There's a history of success on the site as well. You know, some of these coins have did massive 40x's, 50, 60. But Phantom, no one in 2020 spoke about Phantom. No one. But I did a Udemy course that was called The Best Cryptocurrency Investment of 2020, and it was all about Phantom. Said it would 100x or more. It ended up doing 677x from when I filmed and released the course. So if you put in $1,000, obviously you've been able to buy a very nice house, but $2,000 would have netted you 1.3 million. I will find another Phantom, and I won't do a Udemy course like last time. I'll just go onto my site. I'm going to tell my members about the coin, what times gain I think it can do, what percentage of my portfolio it's going to be, and they can copy along and make the same gains. If you like the sound of that, you like the sound of the work being taken out of it for you, then go read the site. And remember, everything that's on the site, you can verify it against the YouTube channel's history. You can go to the link in the description or type the link that's above. Okay, Serum. So Serum is currently priced at 13.5 cents. I think right now it's hugely overvalued, particularly given what's to come. Now, before I get into the massive reason that I think this is going to drop hugely, Serum, let's just talk about what Serum is. Serum is a DEX that's built upon Solana. So it's fast, it's very, very cheap. It's the only high performance DEX that has fully on-chain central limit orders, which is quite a cool feature. It's not anymore, actually, by the way. It's not the only high performance one now. But it's a nice on-chain order book. It's, you know, runs very similarly to a centralized exchange, but it's all private. It's all, you know, you're in control of your own keys. I've spoken about the huge expectation I have of DEXs in the next bull cycle, but Serum's got a rough ride ahead. Let's just run through it. Firstly, their partners are FTX, Alameda Research, and the Solana Foundation. FTX and Alameda Research obviously collapsed, and Solana's had a rough ride. Serum is unique. It's a DEX with like say a limit order system set in the same way that you would trade it on a centralized exchange, which is really cool. They have because it was built on Solana, it's insanely fast. And very, very cheap. There is a lot that is likable about Serum, particularly when you look at like who are working with Serum. You know, the ecosystem is growing really nicely. You've got Bridge Split, O1 protocol, and so on and so on and so on. There's actually some pretty good cryptos and projects that are tied into Serum. All of these things are real big pluses, right? I mean, they would need to still grow their Serum ecosystem. They also have a grant system in place where you can apply for grants to receive funding so that you can really push on development, which I'm always a big fan of. I want to see that. That gives much better potential long term for success in a project. You know, they funded Phantom, which is obviously one of the wallets, one of the most popular wallets for Solana. You've got obviously a number of different projects that have been funded, Star Atlas being one. And again, real big plus for Serum. But the big negative that just has to be discussed from my perspective is that Serum is hugely exposed right now. Hugely exposed. I don't see how they're going to long term have success. Or certainly, I can see the project having success, but not the price. The price right now is 13.5 cents. They're saying the circulating supply is 263 million, although I will point out CoinGecko is saying 372 million. Okay, so that is, even if it's 372 million, that's still only like 3% of the max supply. You know? So what we've got is a situation where there's a ton of cryptos that are like a ton of Serum that's going to end up being dropped. And that's what needs to be like looked at. This is annoyingly slow, by the way. Solana's Explorer is piss poor. I'm really unimpressed with this. I refreshed this. It's just so slow, and that's not my internet. But let's go back to this. Look. So we are in December of 2022. So right now should be around about a 3 billion token distribution. Thereabouts. And we are apparently only 300 and something million of the way in. 372 million of the way in. There's going to be 10 billion tokens. Now, the plan is for them to all be distributed by the end of 2027. Now, next bull cycle, you're looking at 2024. Probably. So you're looking at 5 billion tokens being out. That's 20 times what there is right now, according to CoinMarketCap. According to CoinGecko, you're looking at about 15 times. But even so, you're looking at about 15 times. Serum is never hitting its all-time high again. Number one, there's no chance. It can't hit $12. If there's going to be 5 billion tokens by the next bull cycle, let's just say 5 billion. $12, that puts it in market cap 60 billion. There's just no way. There's no way this hits 60 billion as market cap. And is it going to hit $1? Probably not. And if you're talking about another 20 times or even 15 times the amount of coins coming out, then you're looking at like a huge market capitulation, because all of a sudden tons of coins out, very little demand. What happens? There's a sell-off. There's a sell-off that has to happen. So what we're going to end up seeing is going to be a huge capitulation in terms of price. Huge market capitulation in terms of price. It has to happen. In fact, life after FTX, we're looking at Solana DeFi starting over without Serum. And I've spoken about this before, because Serum, we're trying to recover huge losses as a result of everything that happened with Sam Bankman-Fried. So as a result, Serum, which was founded by a consortium of Solana and Bankman-Fried, has been crushed. It's been crushed. Its private keys were housed within FTX, which is exactly as bad as that sounds. So following an apparent hack on FTX on November, the same day that the company filed for bankruptcy, DeFi projects on Solana rushed to cut ties with with Serum out of fear that the private key that could be used to update the program had likewise been compromised. This effectively flipped the off switch on Solana DeFi. So, and then you go, Jupiter, Aggregator, Radium, all confirmed that they closed and paused the market making on Serum. Since then, you know, we've seen people scrambling to try and fix Serum. And we've seen teams trying to approach Serum. We've seen the Solana community want to leave Serum behind. That Serum's private keys were compromised was bad enough. The revelation that centralized exchange, not the Serum community, had unilateral access to it was even worse. To put that kind of shock into perspective, it's as if the Ethereum DeFi community found that Coinbase controls the private keys to Maker or Uniswap. So as a result, Serum is probably dead. And when we're talking about, you know, is it going to drop to zero? Maybe. Probably not. But it's going to take time. If the community backs Serum and it tries to really and they try to really rally behind it, maybe long term it can rally, but this is, for me, the deadest of dead things. And even if, and I really point this out, even if Serum wasn't tied to FTX, I'd have massive concerns about the circulating supply. I'd have massive concerns about the fact that sooner or later we're going to see a huge dumpage. But then you combine that with the fact that Sam Bankman-Fried was intrinsically tied, FTX was intrinsically tied to Serum, you're screwed. Serum is about as dead as it's going to be. And we'll see what happens, but with my honest perspective on Solana right now, I'd stay away from Solana and I'd stay away from Serum, and I'd probably stay away from the majority of anything tied to Solana right now. So it's going to be a really weird couple of years. Solana has a tough road ahead, along with a lot of the projects tied to Solana. But Serum, look, guys, if you're looking at Serum as a long-term hold, not financial advice, but it is not going to survive. I don't think it's going to survive. I think it's going to be crippled in terms of price action. It's just inevitable. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. And if, guys, you are a returning viewer, hit the subscribe button. Helps the channel, and these videos will make you money or save you money, like in the case of Serum. For God's sake, if you're in a position in Serum, just cut ties. It's only going to get worse. Not financial advice. And guys, if you want to see the coins that I own right now, you can go to copymycrypto.com. The link is the link is above me and in the description. It's where I share my portfolio. I give real-time updates whenever I buy or sell a coin. I let the members know immediately when I make those decisions. I do daily videos on a daily basis talking about the markets. We have step-by-step tutorials for beginners. These will guide you through the process of getting your first cryptos. And we have a history of success, both on the site and in the channel, and both on the site and on this channel. No one in 2020 spoke about Phantom. I dedicated a Udemy course to it, saying it would 100x, was completely correct. And when I find the next Phantom, I won't do a Udemy course. I'll go onto the site and I'll tell the members about the coin, what I think it can do in terms of gains, why I think it can do those in terms of gains, what percentage of my money I'm putting into it, and they can copy and they can match my gains. If that interests you, if you want to take the work out of it for yourself and copy along, you can do that. All you have to do is go to the site and join. But I suggest you go to the site, read through, and you can verify everything that's said on the site against the history of the YouTube channel as well. Make life easy for yourself. Check that it's all true, which it is. And maybe I'll see you there. And the last thing, guys. SEC's General Counsel Dan Berkowitz to step down in January of 2023, as it's reported that he had at least one recent dinner with Sam Bankman-Fried. Megan Barbero will replace Berkowitz upon his departure. Apparently, Gary Gensler said he was grateful for Berkowitz's exceptional public service and his dedication to his agency. Dan has led the office. Just, fluff. Nice. Thank you for your work. Type of deal. He worked in the SEC after leaving the CFTC after 3 years. Now, it may not be directly related, but Berkowitz recently had a dinner at a luxury Indian restaurant in Washington, D.C. with several FTX executives, including Sam Bankman-Fried. The details of the conversations are still unclear, but the emails reveal that the bill was covered by FTX general counsel, who then asked for $50 from Berkowitz. The former crypto exchange giant was known for having warm relationships with several US watchdogs before its very loud collapse. And the dinner took place just days before FTX filed for bankruptcy. If ever there were a scene to conjure up a vision of DC rigged towards corrupt insiders at the expense of the little guy, it would be difficult to top this one. Not long before its collapse and a raft of fraud charges, SBF and his gang were wooing one of their would-be regulators, no doubt to try to manipulate their regulations to their advantage. And here's the thing. If he's been wooing or if he's been bribing any officials in the SEC, then Dan Berkowitz is not going to be the only one. So hopefully Gensler was one, and we'll find that Gensler's going to have a downfall fairly soon. But we're going to see what happens here. It's all a bit crazy at the moment, and as I've said multiple times on this channel, the FTX fallout is going to continue for ages, probably a year and a half, 2 years. And I've said it before as well, I don't think Sam Bankman-Fried will end up doing any time. He absolutely should, but I don't think he will. Apparently the raft of charges against him have the potential to incarcerate him for 120 years or something insane. And I will be surprised if he does more than 2. And he'll probably do it in a cushy prison because he's got money. I hope I'm wrong, but let's see. Let's see, guys. What do you all think as well? How much time do you reckon he'll serve? Do you reckon he'll serve any? Let me know in the comments down below. And that's it from me, guys. Take it easy. Bye-bye.